thereabout. Opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or messages posted in chat are strictly their own personal views and do not reflect the views of Bolin Services, Inc., a 501c3 nonprofit organization, nor does it reflect the views of the sponsors of this program. Political commentary, if any, are strictly personal opinions and should not be construed as endorsements of or opposition to any political party, candidate, or voter initiative by Bolin Services, Inc. This audio-visual presentation is copyrighted by Kenneth W. Bolin. No rebroadcast, retransmission, simulcast, or other distribution of this video or the audio associated with it is permitted without the express written permission of Kenneth W. Bolin. All original content on this presentation is owned in full and solely by Kenneth W. Bolin.
Warning, the following podcast has extremely high levels of Kenny Bolin. Studies have shown that excessive exposure to Kenny Bolin may have damaging effects to your physical and mental well-being. Viewer discretion is advised. No, seriously, we mean it. There will be naughty words, lots of them, probably. Now you've been warned. This warning sponsored by the Story Time with Dutch Mantel.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Dutch Mantel has so far in arrears that we may have to call the law on him to get him to pay up.
We might need law enforcement is what we might need.
Exactly that.
And
well, it's a good thing we might need that because
read by John Cena Sr., we might add, who we're going to have as a guest on the show Thursday, and he's going to have to sit back here and watch his own intro get read on the show.
There you go.
There you go.
We make him do things here. So, Kenny, it's Nerd Night, and I am here anyway because this is a very...
You passed up Nerd Night because I'd already explained to my guests that I was going solo tonight and I would have no help whatsoever.
No help. Well, you may still have no help.
Still may not.
That may not change. But it is Nerd Night. But I'm going to be here because tonight we have a very special guest, someone who goes way back with Kenny Bolin. In fact, he goes back to Kenny Rison.
He does. He does go back to Kenny Rison.
Go back to Kenny Bolin. He goes back to longer than that. You know what? I'm just going to bring him on because there's so many stories to tell that I don't want to waste any time with him sitting in the green room.
By the way, before you do, I want to make sure everybody knows this is one of my top 25 favorite police officers ever in Oldham County. I just want to make that clear right now. Top 25.
We're Oldham County. Well, okay, good. He's in the top 25. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Officer Dennis Clark. Mr. Clark, Officer Clark, how are you, sir? Welcome to the program.
I'm good. Thank you for having me, guys.
Bob, I have just noticed something. Who does Officer Clark look like in the wrestling business?
Hulk
He's got the mustache. You got the whole.
Do you see a little Jake the Snake Roberts there?
You know what? Now that you say that,
I love Jake the Snake.
Now that you're here and doing the show, it's like Jake the Snake just popped in. And I don't think I've never done a show with Jake the Snake. I know Cornette was terrified. You mentioned about another manager from our region that you used to watch on TV, not from Trumbull County, but from Urton Lane in Middletown. And he was terrified of that snake. And Jimmy once had to do a segment in the ring where they put the snake on him. And I think Jimmy started wearing diapers after that match because they didn't tell him the snake was going to make physical contact with him. And another manager that did not like that snake. You remember Slick?
No, I don't.
Very tall, lanky black man that wore the kind of a pimp getup, and he was terrified of that snake. And they also put the snake loose on him one night and didn't tell him about it. And he wasn't. He's ready to quit.
That was a good gimmick. That was
well, if you can get somebody to get in the ring with him while he's got the snake in here, it's a good gimmick. This is something you may not know. When I lived on 117 West Main, we had a pet python. Probably weren't supposed to have it. Well, it was to keep the bad police. It was to keep the bad police officers out of my house.
Did you get it down at Web Pets? Remember Web
No,
Pets?
my stepdad, Johnny Rison, had it, who, by the way, did serve some time in the penitentiary. You know Johnny?
Yeah.
Probably you arrested him one night would be a guess.
I think him and Sanford Suter went to the pen for stealing cattle.
You brought up Sanford Suter. I brought that name up. Sanford Suter. Oh, my God. And his son, Randy Suter. I was considered at Oldham County, and people don't look at me now. There's no way in hell this guy was fast. I used to run everywhere, and Mr. Clark probably remembers this, that I would run from my apartment to convenient food mart. A young lady there, I think her name was Diane Jumper, if I remember correctly. A beautiful young black lady who I had the biggest crush on that ever was. And we're still going.
Go ahead.
We remained friends for a long, long time. I haven't heard from her in a while, but she had like 8 kids when I met her, and she was just a stunning woman that had like 7 or 8 kids. She invited me over to her house to see her after her divorce, so I go over to her house. I'm like 18, 19 years old. Hell yeah. So I go over there. There's 7 or 8 kids running around. What the hell? I'm 18 myself.
You know what was funny about Sanford and your dad?
Tell me. You might know. I don't know. So go right ahead.
It's not like they were big time cattle rustlers.
No.
They'd steal one cow at a time and throw in the trunk of a car and haul it away.
Jimmy Cornette used to say, and there is some truth to this. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Rison, as he was known back then, Kenny Bolin now, his father is the last man ever convicted of cattle rustling in the state of Kentucky." What's pretty much some truth to that? Who else has been arrested for cattle rustling?
Sanford could have been a wrestler, man. He was huge.
Sanford was a huge, tough guy. My stepdad could whip a lot of people. I don't know if I'd have liked his chances against Sanford in a drunken stupor fight, because they both like to drink. I can't believe you remember the name Sanford Suter, because that name could not have come out of your lips once since 1981. There's no way. Sanford Suter. Oh my God! But yeah, Sanford and my stepdad got arrested for cattle rustling. Let me give you the background. We're having fun here tonight, guys. This ain't going to get too damn serious. I'd love to get your donations to help these people out. We got a lot of people in need. Your donations are appreciated, and I hope you have a heart and you help us out. But me and Mr. Clark and Bob is going to be digging him for some info that may not have been revealed on my part. There's already people writing me. How many times did Mr. Clark arrest you, Mr. Bolin? Under the name of Bolin, he never arrested me.
I remember the steps up to your old apartment were like, that was like climbing a mountain.
Well, which means he came up to my steps to arrest me one night. And they're very steep. Very steep.
I think it was either your parents on the domestic or your sister. I don't think you were involved in that.
I hope not. I don't think I was involved in that. Well, plus Sammy Rison for a while lived next door, Dad's brother. Yeah. If you remember Sammy Rison. And Sammy's still with us. A lot of the Risons have passed away, but Sammy's still with us today. And David Rison was my favorite uncle, born August the 5th. He's one of the few birthdays I remember. And he was my favorite uncle. Never stolen.
Rison was a name in Oldham County, sort of like Woosley.
Yeah, right. And the Woosleys are related to me as well. Barbara Ann Woosley, Eugene Woosley, Ronnie Woosley. Thordy Woosley was my uncle. Anna Woosley was my aunt, if you know them, and I bet you do.
I sent 3 of them to the penitentiary.
Wait, what's 3 went to the... Now, you have some... What 3 went to the penitentiary? Help me out.
I think it was Thordy and Eugene. They were stealing, we call them in a construction site, stealing equipment. And they were riding the motorcycle.
It doesn't sound anything like...
Listen, they were riding their motorcycle. We pulled up, they ran off in the woods. So we're yelling, come on out of the woods. And they wouldn't. So I took my gun out and shot their motorcycles up and shot their helmets.
Okay. I'm learning some stuff here, Bob. I didn't know about this.
And then I had to go in front of Judge Fritz about that.
I remember Judge Fritz. Thank God he liked me.
Yeah, he can be tough, man.
And go ahead.
Your name was, I mean, there's a lot of little just punk-ass thieves running around at that time in that area. And you were sort of right in the middle of where they were all congregating.
I was.
Heavy Bears.
Main Street was how I never became a convicted criminal is beyond me.
Right.
Because
they all hung out on the
no.
corner down there by the payphones. Remember that?
Well, Huggy Bears was down. You go down my steps and off to the right, and that was Huggy Bears. And every criminal in Grange would go there and get high and play video games. And then there I am. I've never had a drink, never smoked, never done drugs, and I'm in amongst these people playing video games.
We were just right, and I can't. That's why I said I'm proud of you, dude.
Yeah,
I was there and made it.
I had every opportunity to be one of the top 5 criminals in Oldham County. I had every opportunity. I was well recruited and well coached.
Yeah, the Truitts and the Richies, and I could go on and on.
You can and you are.
But you were sort of, we saw you sort of as damn, that guy's really, he really knows he's just not going to Lola Gardens every Tuesday night.
Yeah, that really does. In the skating rink.
Yeah, I mean, you were in it. You were a real deal and coming up. So all the cops sort of thought, damn, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The Sparrow, Steve Sparrow was always so good to me. Officer Payne was gold. Jeff Money and I are still friends to this day. I always loved Jeff Money. And now, do you remember? And I'll go ahead and bring it up. Do you remember the day that I got arrested in 1984? I believe it was April, May, probably May. I was wearing a jacket and it was a cool evening, so probably April or May of 1984. I just started as a sales rep with Royal Prestige, and I'll tell you the arresting officers. Jeff Money came up, Officer Payne came up, and Willie Douglas.
Yeah, what they arrested for?
They arrested me. Do you remember Adrian Reynolds?
Yeah, I sure do.
Do you remember my old friend Keith Coble?
Yep, I sure do.
Keith and I are still dear friends to this day. He might even be watching the show tonight. He has a link. Keith is coming. Yeah. Kenny, please don't bring this up. It was 1984. Let it die. But no, I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up.
Hey, we know Adrian ain't going to bring it up.
Adrian is not bringing it up because Adrian was.
I didn't want to go there.
Didn't want to go there. But and this has loomed over my head since I got some fame on television, and as you know, I was very good at promoting myself, and making myself be a bigger deal than I actually was. I'm also the self-proclaimed king of Netflix because I've been on 2 Netflix series. I wasn't on them long, but I was in them. So
there you go.
I'm in Unreal and I'm in Wrestlers. The episodes 1s of both of them, and I promoted the biggest star. Go ahead.
Adrian's mother, Ann, was a good lady.
I'm still friends with her to this day, and a damn good lady. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And Adrian was a good kid. Adrian was my. I got pictures. I don't know if I got it. Do we have it in the room where me, Adrian, and Mike I'm in a mask? It's on what? It's 117 West Main. Some shitty curtains hanging up. I'm going to see if Bob can bring up the picture. There it is. That's 117 West Main with my Zenith. That's Mike Howman. You know Mike.
Yeah. He
was on the fire department forever in LaGrange. Right. And but it's Mike Howman. We're about 16 or 17 there because I still have shitty curtains and probably a shitty black and white console TV behind Mike. That is my Zenith Allegro stereo. Let me tell you the story about that. My mother went down. What was that? Was it Jerry's Corner Store? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yep,
Mom went down there. Mom, I had a real shitty stereo. It was horrible. And for my 16th birthday, Mom went down because I'd done very good in school. Mom went down to Jerry's Corner Store and financed that Zenith Allegro stereo that you see behind Adrian, $399. And Jerry let her finance that interest free for 1 year. And Mom made payments on it. And then eventually I got a job and helped her pay it off at Burger Queen. At Burger Queen. Well, regardless of all the stuff I say about her on here, she was a good lady.
She's always polite, and
she always was. and very well with the police department. But Adrian was one of my best friends. Him, Jim Cornette, Mike Hallman. We were the three amigos. Yeah. Where one of us went, we all were. And when I got in marketing and sales, and we separated from Adrian got to running with the bad people of LaGrange, and then eventually he got arrested, and then he got beat up by the Louisville Police Department and died in their custody. And Bill Clinton. And this is why they say, Kenny, you'll never be the most famous person in LaGrange because of Adrian Reynolds, because Bill Clinton at Freedom Hall held up Adrian's picture over his head in a protest against the Louisville police for beating him up and killing him. And but I'd like to say Officer Clark had nothing to do with it. he didn't. Maybe some of those Woosleys and Risons he wanted to get some shots in on, but he not.
I had arrested Adrian, a couple times, but I never.
How many times? Because after 19, I separated from him probably around 81, 82. When Jimmy got in pro wrestling, I got in marketing and sales. We all kind of faded away a little bit, and poor Adrian just got with. I mean, the kid I knew and what he became were two different kids.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've always wondered how. You and Jerry Lawler retired, right?
We're tight. Well, from about especially 1975 on, I met him in 74. Sam Bass was nicer to me than Jerry Lawler was. I got to be friends with Sam Bass, and then Lawler finally realized that I was kind of smart to what they were doing. And I would be at the Louisville Gardens in the front row of the cheap seats, the only fan Lawler had out of 5,000 or 6,000 people. And people would throw shit, and they never hit me. They'd hit everybody around me. And then that's how me and Cornette met, because Cornette was a Lawler fan, but he was the photographer, making $90 a week as a photographer for Jarrett Welch Promotions. And so Jimmy met me at intermission once, and he says, Kenny, did you know that guy over here that's at the rail? He said, he's waving at you now. I said, who is that? He said, Jimmy Hart. I said, no. I said, I know who he is, but I've never met him. And he said, well, that's Lawler's best friend. He travels up. He says that if you'd like, he'll take you backstage and let you meet Jerry, because he notices you're the only fan Jerry's got. So I said, oh, yeah. So I go over and I meet Jimmy Hart. And Jimmy's not a manager yet. He's just Lawler's buddy who's with Jimmy Hart and the Gentrys, So I knew him from Hang On Sloopy. I knew him from that. But so Jimmy Hart actually is the first one to ever take me backstage to meet Jerry Lawler. And then Christine Jarrett liked me, and Jerry Jarrett liked me, and everything evolved. And eventually I was allowed backstage every week from about 1976 on. Never had to buy a ticket again.
Yeah, the only reason I wondered that, I thought,
Bob, you're getting carried away over there. Just shut up. For crying out loud.
I know.
Quit interrupting the man.
I just wondered how come, man, dude, you dealt with John Cena. It's like, God damn. Don't they throw you a bone every now and then?
I got thrown a lot of bones. I sent 54 people to the WWE, and I claim I'm better than Paul Heyman because he's a coattail rider. Paul Heyman's a coattail rider. All my guys were developed from dirt. Well, maybe not so much Mark Henry and Big Show, but I actually managed Mark Henry. Big Show I feuded with. Big Show hated me when he was here, by the way. That's another long story.
They were told the Ohio Valley, right?
Ohio Valley Wrestling, and then I got hired there in November of 1986. I got hired by Nick Goulas in 96. I got hired by Nick Goulas in November of 1987. You know what? Let's show because that's the earliest video I've got of me doing wrestling. Is my first ever interview, my first ever show with Nick Goulas and George Goulas. Bob, if we could roll that beautiful Bing footage, we'll show.
Welcome, wrestling fans, to WOW, World Organization Wrestling. My name's Ken Bolin, and I'm here with the Dean of Promoters, Nick Goulas, and his son, George Goulas. Nick, I'm sure the fans would like to know, you've been in semi-retirement now for the last 5 years. I'm sure they'd like to know what you've been doing and what you got planned for the future.
Well, I've been doing a lot of different things, Ken. I've been going here and there, watching matches in different cities. And in the last 6 or 8 months, I've been trying to get myself back to doing wrestling again. I've been asked by many, many people, when am I coming back to promoting wrestling? So after 45 years, it's hard to get out and quit. So I decided to come back, and I'm starting back wrestling right in this area real soon. And I'm glad to be on this station.
Well, you've brought a lot of talent from the old days that are real successful in the business now, and I understand you plan on bringing a lot of new talent in. One of those talents you've got sitting there, your son George, right there. George, what have you been doing?
Well, Ken, I've been wrestling 3 or 4 or 5 times a month, but now I'll be wrestling 3 or 4 times a week because my father's going back into wrestling. I referee high school basketball. Besides that, I play basketball 3 times a week. And, you know, not being my father, Nick Gulas, I like to mention on the other side of the ledger that Nick Gulas' name to pro wrestling has been around for a lot of years. It's like Babe Ruth is to baseball, Larry Bird is to basketball, and Bear Bryant is the football. And when you mention pro wrestling in this area, you think of Nick Gulas. And that's why I'm glad he's coming back. I'm glad to wrestle again full-time for him. And the talent he's been in contact with throughout the country the past several months, you're going to be surprised at the talent he's going to bring in here because he's talked to the best, and that's what he wants to bring in the best for WOW, World Organization Wrestling.
Nick, how long do you plan to stay in the area this time?
I'm going to stay indefinitely, Ken. As long as God lets me stay and live, I'm going to be here. And I hope to, you know, and like I said, I've started some of the greatest in the world in wrestling. Today, all over the country, wrestlers know Nick Gulas started a lot of them, and some of the biggest names, and we intend to start some more big names in wrestling. I'm not going to stop now at my age, regardless of that. But regardless of what goes on in wrestling, Nick Gulas will be our hope for some time to come.
George, do you plan on doing a single wrestling tag team? Where do you seem to be looking towards now?
Probably single. In the past, I like to wrestle tag, but you know what they was saying, if you wrestle a tag match, you get beat, you always blame your opponent for losing.
Right.
So if I'm going to get beat, I'd rather get beat and say I got beat myself. But I'll probably wrestle both, single and tag matches. And of course, when you wrestle either one, you're in there in a tough time in that squared circle. It's not an easy task to go in there and wrestle. No matter who you wrestle, you can't cut anybody short because they're in there to beat you too. And that's why I work out constantly and stay in good shape, because one thing about pro wrestling, you can't just sit there and say, I'm going to win. You got to win in the ring.
Thank you, and we will be back next time on WOW, WOW, World Organization Wrestling.
Okay, so to set that whole thing up, go ahead.
Smooth on that, kid. You were smooth. I mean, your timing and everything.
I hated that take. That was my first take. I was 27 years old, and I thought I could do much better. So we get to the end, and I said, I'm sorry, Nick. I said, let's do that again. Nick, no, that's just fine the way it is. We're going to keep it the way it is. I said, Nick, I'm telling you, I can do better. Well, maybe you can do better, but we can't. We're going to keep it the way it is. We're going to keep it the way it is. So they were very pleased with what they did. But that was my first time on air, and that was one take at a TV studio in Nashville. And he hired me out of a service merchandise, met me in line. I was returning a surround sound receiver. And I told him I knew Lawler and Cornette, and he could not believe that I was not in the business. He said, well, I'm going to make you the next Jerry Lawler. I said, well, we got one of those. I said, I would like to be the managerial announcer version of Jerry Lawler is what I would like to do. And he said, well, we got room for that. He says, Kenny, you can do anything you want in my company. He says, just come down, and we're going to do interviews down at the TV studio. So he gave me the address, and that was my first ever take, my first time, my first day in pro wrestling. So glad I got it, because it's on a beta tape in my kitchen right now, and getting that to play in an old beta machine might be a little bit of fun. So I'm so glad I have that.
And I remember I was working at the airport police in 2000, and The Rock came through. I don't know if he was going to the OV or where he's going, but
probably a Freedom Hall show would be my guess.
Yeah, and we were all, like, he's coming, and there was like 100 people standing out there with chairs that they wanted him to sign and stuff.
Oh God, yeah.
When he came through, I mean, it was like hustling the president, and I guess that's where he really popped big, wasn't it?
Well, originally he was known on Memphis television as Flex Cavana, and one thing great here we had at OVW is that Rocky Johnson, his father, was an agent with us for quite some time, and he would talk about how non-supporter, because Rocky was a multi-millionaire then, and I'm sorry, The Rock. But Rocky Johnson would always talk about how little his son did for him, that he didn't do much for him. And he would brag, he had some new Nikes on. He said, look what my son bought me. I said, your son could buy you a brand new Mercedes and get you a fleet of them. I said, why are you bragging about? He said, because he don't buy me much. So I really appreciate that. So he bragged about the Nikes his son bought him and a jacket. But He acted like his son did not do much for him. And and Rocky Johnson is who I used to buy a ticket to go see down at the Louisville Gardens. Jerry Lawler versus Rocky Soul Man Johnson, and that was what used to sell me a ticket. And you talk about a promo cutter, and he could cut the promos. I was also told to ask you, I don't want to forget, I was told to ask you about your days at the Toy Tiger. Chris Schmidt wrote me early before the show, said, please ask Mr. Clark about his days at the Toy Tiger.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I have not been in a lot of nightclubs, Bob, but I did a couple of personal appearances at Toy Tiger, not knowing that Dennis Clark was part owner. I didn't know. I would have done it if I'd known Clark owned it. I figured he's going to arrest me.
You got it right before I retired from the police department at Mobile County, I bought and flipped a couple of businesses and done really well. And I mean, really well. And so I thought, you know what? I retired and I thought, I want to buy just like a little bar like Cheers or something. So I went to the business broker and he says, there's only one bar for sale. It's a Toy Tiger. And I thought, oh my God. You know, I mean, it was a big club, 45. I mean, they had big names, Warrant, you know, Docking back then. And,
Warrant was real big back then.
When the wrestlers were in town, that's where they came to.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I bought it. And
I was honored to even be invited there. I really was.
Yeah, I had it for 5 years. And then the city of Louisville decided they were going to shut all the big bars down, Coyotes and me.
Did you own it when we set up a ring there at Toy Tiger and had wrestling shows there? Did you own it then? Oh, damn. All right. I was there. I was there that night.
Yeah, we had boxing too there.
And you did. You had a fun atmosphere. I don't know what capacity was for there, but that bar for a wrestling show was an atmosphere that was hard to duplicate anywhere else.
We set up boxing stuff up on that top parking deck, and we could hold hundreds of people up there. And since it was outside, it was cool. Sort of like a Vegas feel in rural. But the city, when 4th Street Live came in, they decided they were going to shut down everybody to force the people to come down to 4th Street Live. So they started harassing the shit out of us.
That sounds like shit we see going on in government today. Let's shut down all the competition and force them to come deal with us.
I mean, they cited
this shit's been going on all the time, apparently.
And so my buddy at Coyotes was like, man, I'm just going to throw the towel.
I did a few shows at Coyotes, too. Now, was Coyote Calhoun the owner of Coyotes or no?
No. Ward Pache owned Coyotes, but you talk about a deal. They to use Coyotes' name, he got like 1% of their gross a year, which was a ton of money.
Was it really even at 1%?
1%.
Wow.
1%,
I wouldn't have thought that. Damn.
A ton of money. But he was good for Coyotes because he had to, he had the juice with all the big up and coming stars and stuff for country music.
Yeah, exactly.
So he'd bring them in there. So I always tell everybody, owning the Toy Tiger was like riding a stampeding elephant. You can't guide it or stop it. You just hang on.
You just grab the leash and go where the rope pulls you, I guess.
Everybody thinks it was cool because we had all the wet t-shirt contest and the strippers and all that.
I didn't notice any of that when I was there. I was blind all that. Didn't see a thing. Didn't see
all that drama and stuff. It's like.
Speaking of, we've been on quite a roll going down memory lane here, and we got lots more to come. I kind of forgot to pay homage to our sponsors 28 minutes into the show, and they just delivered some food here just before we went on the air. So shout out to Jimmy John's. This is the big lunchbox that they've got, and I think it sells for about $15, give or take, depending where you are in the country. We like to promote 976 Baxter Avenue, right 0.2 of a mile from my door, and they were kind enough about 3 minutes before airtime to drop the. Look, got a little glare there. About 3 minutes before airtime. Let's see what they sent me tonight, Mr. Clark, because they're really one of our top sponsors, along with Blaze Pizza. Jimmy John's, which we're about to dig into here, Five Guys and Blaze Pizza, and our good friends at Arby's, who, by the way, Arby's made a $200 challenge to all the other sponsors to donate to help the Louisville metro area homeless and the Filipino families that we help on our show. So far, none of the other sponsors have stepped up yet. So I had to send a little reminder out to them. Hey, Arby's stepped up. What are y'all doing? Oh my God. 2 bags. Oh, they're trying to butter me up tonight. 2 bags of the jalapeno chips. They know that's my favorite. The jalapeno chips are great. What do we got? Oh, they gave me some Hellman's mayonnaise. You can't beat free Hellman's mayonnaise. The lovely chocolate chip cookie. These things are fantastic. They got another cookie that they don't carry no more that I'm a little hot. Oh, and they sent me a big. I think this is the. I probably won't eat it on the air tonight, just out of respect for the guests. This is the. What's that? Jalapeno one I like. I'm sorry, the spicy Italian wrap is what this one is. The spicy Italian. They also have an amazing wrap called the Kickin' Chicken. And if you go to Jimmy John's, especially up here at 976 Baxter Avenue or any of the local Jimmy John's locations in the Louisville metro area, make sure to tell them that the Starmaker Bolin show sent you. And I don't know they're going to do anything for you, but let them know that we're the ones that sent you, and we appreciate it. And they're normally very nice to our patrons that stop in. From personal testimonies I've got, Chris Schmidt drops in up there quite a bit, says they always treat him good. He always buys a bunch of Jimmy John's to take to work, and he works at an Italian restaurant here in Louisville. He says, I can't afford to eat at my own restaurant, so I go to Jimmy John's. So, can't beat that. Mr. Clark, are you a fan of Jimmy John's?
I am.
You better say you're a fan of Jimmy John's.
Subway has just gone downhill, and so I started with Jimmy John's.
They're going to cut this segment. Yeah, they're going to put this segment in their stores.
I would lay down my life for Jimmy John.
Well, there you go. I got a feeling somebody's getting a free kicking chicken next time they go to Jimmy John. I'd lay down my life for Jimmy John's, Bob. Can we cut that and put that on a loop?
Yeah.
Does Bob know about the train track?
Probably a little bit. You do know that the train went 12 feet from my window, right? Or do you know that?
We knew that, right?
It used to put me to sleep. I used to beg the train to go by because the train put me to sleep.
The white place, yeah. Would be
Clark going, we should have arrested him for that. The man liked the train to go by. Well, the train would also interrupt our Frisbee times. Also, when I would get out of the skating rink, when the skating rink lit out, if you didn't race to get home, the train would come by the time we'd get home on Saturday night, and we'd have to sit over there in the courtyard, wait maybe 20 minutes for the damn train to go by. And I wanted to get home and watch wrestling. So that's how I learned how to be fast.
Are you talking about Champs roller ring down in Crestwood?
No, I'm talking about the one in LaGrange. God, I remember if the guy's name that ran it was named Bob, big redheaded guy.
Yeah.
Wasn't this one?
Yeah.
His name was Bob. Big redheaded. It was God. Okay. Go to the 4-way stop where the track is. Go through that. Go to the next 4-way stop that'll take you down. I think it's Highway 53. You make a right. and then you went 100 feet on the right, and that was the roller rink.
Oh,
does that ring a bell?
No, it doesn't.
It was there in 76.
You must have been on drugs then, Kenny.
No, not yet. But a big redheaded guy, a balding redheaded guy named Bob ran it, and big man, and whenever I'd get in fights, it would be at the skating rink because people like to try to knock me down. I would brag that I could not be knocked down. I had great balance. People look at me. This guy was fast and had great balance. Stop it. Well, back then I did. And I would challenge people to knock me down. And if they played dirty, it would lead to a fight. And I learned how to fight on roller skates. And I never got kicked out because Bob always said, well, you all started the fight. Kenny was just defending himself. And, do you remember a kid named Jeff Cook?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yes. See? You didn't say that when you brought my name up.
That's Bobby Cook's brother, right?
Well, I got news for you. I beat the shit out of Jeff Cook up there one night because that little fucker tried to knock me down when I wasn't looking. I mean, the rule was I had to be looking for you to try to take me out. And Jeff Cook come up behind me and kicked my skates when I wasn't looking. I tracked that little sumbitch down and I got him in a corner and I just beat the shit out of him. And then Bob come up and threw Jeff Cook out for violating the rules of trying to take me down. And I emerged victorious and got to stay in. But no, I hated Jeff cook with a passion.
I hate. I tell people that back in that time, it was a little town, but there was a lot of roughnecks. The Olsons, remember?
I remember the old Sammy Olson. I remember Sammy.
And, you know,
hell, the women were tough. You didn't want to mess with the female Olsons.
Right. And the Truitts, remember the Truitts?
I remember I wasn't friends with a lot of the Truitts, but I knew who they were. I actually wasn't friends with. I just knew who Sammy Olson was.
Yeah. But
Jeff Cook was a little redneck who was about 5'2.5" and needed to keep his fucking mouth shut. That's what he needed to do.
They, I mean, it was like every night I went to work. I mean, God, you got in a fight with some of them little yahoos. I mean, it was just for a little city, man. We had tons of them. You know?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just little kids. It wasn't little kids acting up. I mean, they were breaking into shit, stealing shit. And, you know,
any of the little fights I got in were normally defended myself and normally at the skating rink. I don't remember too many other fights otherwise. And plus, I had this confidence and persona that I would talk shit against people that I knew could probably whip my ass, but I would talk such a fight, they would say, well, shit, he must think he knows what he's doing, so I ain't going to mess with him. That happened at high school all the time. There was a lot of people that I would get verbal conflicts with, and let me tell you something, son, bitch. I'll meet you out behind bus 56, and I'll beat your ass. Knowing I couldn't do it. Knowing if he shows up, I'm in trouble.
Does Bob know about all the bootlegging in Grange kind of Betty Lou's?
Probably not.
Everything that happened. I mean, nothing would surprise me. This reminds me of talking about the Dukes of Hazzard in real life.
Them Dukes.
There was a bootlegger, black lady, and she'd been in Grange for 100 years. But she was a real big bootlegger, and I mean, it was just common knowledge, you know.
Yeah. But, well, let me guess. You had to go to the Bottoms to get it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. It was referred to as the Bottoms. Now, that wasn't an actual address you could go to, but everybody knew where the Bottoms was if you wanted alcohol or whatever. Adrian Reynolds was known to cater the Bottoms quite a bit.
Right.
But like you said, Ann, his mother, was just the sweetest woman, and still is. I mean, I still chat with Ann. From time to time. Last I saw, she's still doing great.
Yep, she's good lady. I mean, she's about to be getting old now, but my mother passed away at age 78, and she died in January 5th of 2018. And do we have a picture of my mother in here, Bob? We had a poster made of her. That might be in here. Yeah.
Let's see what we got of my mom.
I think we had a picture of you and your
Timmy John and my mom, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Your stepping stone brother.
Stepping stone brother.
Let's see.
Mr. Clark, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
Oh God.
Oh God. All right, come on now. There's we are. There's my mom at the nursing home in LaGrange. Me and my worthless, racist shitbag stepbrother named Timmy John. Did you ever know Timmy John Razor? Because there was a police officer in LaGrange that went by Officer Razor, and but he was no relation to Timmy John. It was just, I think it was just a undercover name he took, and he went by. Yeah, I think it was he was a state trooper that went under the name Officer Razor, and he told me once at the Chevron gas station that. Because I asked him if he was related to my half brother, and he said, no, that's my undercover name. But I don't know if I ever remember knowing his real name, but he was a state trooper. But that's my brother, Timmy John. That's my mother, the last year of her life at the nursing home. Yeah. And she was 78 there. Look at that dark hair. You see where I got that from.
That's right.
And you're right, man. Yeah. She was a good lady, and the police loved her, got along with everybody. And like I said, it is a miracle being raised by Johnny Rison and associated with Sanford Suter that I had a fighting chance not to be in prison for half my life. So,
yeah. I mean, for real, dude. You were like a hornet's nest. You know? You were the only. only hornet that didn't get killed or captured. Or
I guess. Well, Dad and Sanford were sentenced to 8 years in the state penitentiary. That is how we ended up on 117 East Main the first time in 1970. We lived out in Ballardsville. Dad got arrested at my grandpa's house in Eminence, Kentucky. I remember it like it happened yesterday.
They stole the cattle up in Henry County. I remember
they did. They did. Well, and here's how I knew what was going on. Dad went out and bought a meat grinder, and Dad and Sanford would go shopping, so to say, and then Dad would bring back all this meat, and then they would steal 1 or 2 cows, and then we would have meat all winter because Dad ground up the meat. You know, we liked hamburger.
Right.
None of us were big steak. Dad was a steak guy. None of the rest of us were. We liked hamburger. So Dad bought a meat grinder for like $40. And he'd be in the kitchen all night just grinding meat. We didn't know where the goddamn cow came from. We had no idea. So go ahead.
Sanford and your dad were nice guys. I mean, they weren't like criminals. Well, they were just nice guys, you know?
Yeah. You'd never know. I mean, they weren't. Now, they loved to drink. They were Friday, Saturday, Sunday alcoholics, recovering on Monday, go to work. Friday night, get drunk again. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, drunk as a fucking skunk, and then probably stealing the cows drunk. If that's a testimony to an alibi. Well, Your Honor, I was drunk. I didn't know any better.
So, they're good guys, you know. They're not like the criminals we got today.
They're not like the criminals we have today that are bad guys. Guys.
They weren't bad guys.
So what he's trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if Kenny Bolin was a criminal, he was still a good guy.
He was a good kid.
He was raised by criminals. What choice did he have?
This is the God's honest truth. You could kill somebody in Henry County. I mean, you could flat out kill somebody, and they won't send you the pen. But by God, you steal a cow, they'll send you to the penitentiary.
He got sentenced. I was in the courtroom the day Dad and Sanford got sentenced. They do their testimony. Dad's in cuffs, standing there in front of the judge. I forget who the sentencing judge was. But me and Mom were in the court. Sounds about right. It would have been 1969. It would have been 69 or 70. And I did not know the judge then. I knew Judge Fritz. The judge sentences, and we're thinking probably 6 months. You know, we're thinking 6 months. 8 years in the penitentiary for both Sanford. For both Sanford and Johnny. 8 years in the state penitentiary. Mom grabs me and Janice, runs to the meeting room where we're going to meet Dad for the last time for 8 years. And Mom's crying, Dad's crying, and I've never seen Johnny cry before, but he was crying that day. And he just couldn't believe it, that it was 8 years for stealing a cow. And I didn't like Johnny too well because Johnny, when he was drunk, would beat my ass over stupid shit. And
I think that's what I came to your apartment for, was probably Johnny being drunk.
It was. He broke into the back of the apartment with a sawed-off shotgun, drunk, threatening to kill Mom over child support. And I was there, and now I turned 17 or 18, and I'd put up with Johnny's shit all I was going to put up with it. And because at 18, I viewed myself as a reasonably tough guy. I was closing in on the 200-pound mark. I wasn't 150 pounds anymore. And he shows up with a sawed-off shotgun, drunk, kicked in the back door, and he's threatening to kill Mom. And I said, she's not here. I said, y'all been divorced for pushing 4 years now. Pay the goddamn child support and leave her alone. I'm going to kill that fucking bitch if I see her. I said, no, Dad, you're not. I said, as a matter of fact, I said, you need to put the gun down and get the hell out of here or I'm calling the police, because I had a little landline in my bedroom. You ain't calling no goddamn police. I'll beat your fucking ass. I said, I tell you what, you lay that shotgun down and we'll see how that works out. Oh, you think you're fucking tough guy, Jerry Lawler? So he called me Jerry Lawler. I said, put that shotgun down, you'll find out. I beat him, and I didn't use my fist because it was still my stepdad, but I roughed him up real bad and got carpet burns on his back because we had a camel hair carpet, and I drug his ass all over the place. We're just roughing him up. Never once used my fist. Then when he was drunk and had his ass beat laying on the carpet, I went in there and called the police. So I guess you're the officer that had to come up and deal with it. And y'all arrested him that night.
And we were like, hey, look, Janice is a nice lady. Motherfucker, you've been, you're fucking drunk and raising hell. If he said, lock her up too, it's like, no, that ain't going to happen, Johnny. We'll go play that game.
I can hear him now. But sentenced to 8 years, and he got out on probation in 8 months for good behavior.
Damn.
And he was a hell of an artist. I don't know if y'all know this or not. Dad was a hell of an artist. And he got better when he was in prison. And I'd go to prison and visit him, even though, like I said, when he went to prison, my life got better because I knew I wasn't going to get beat for not turning the light out, or my bed wasn't made properly, or just whatever he decided to beat me for on the week when he was drunk. So eventually, I had Chris in 1987. And he wanted to see Chris. I said, you're an habitual drunk. My son is never going to be exposed to you. I said, if you quit drinking and prove you can quit drinking, I said, you can see Chris. I said, if he ain't that important to you, fuck you. You'll never see him. So he quit drinking, and he called me again. He says, son, I haven't had a drop in over 8 months. Can I meet your son? I said, well, if that's true, and people verified it. So we drove from Nashville to Grange, where Mom lived in the trailer park. Went down and met him. Chris was 9 months old, and he held Chris, and I swear, Dennis, he never drank another drop from that day on.
Which trailer park was that? Spring Meadows?
Spring Meadows, exactly. Yeah. Spring Meadows is where she lived in. Matter of fact, I lived there for about 6 months when I got divorced.
Man, I remember all that shit, and if you asked me what I did yesterday, I wouldn't even know.
That's me. I'm sitting here reciting all this shit to you. Don't ask me what I had at Jimmy John's.
I mean, I'm describing your car like. I'm describing your car and your crown like I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, oh my God, you were blowing me away. And then Sanford Suitor out of the blue.
Yeah, but man, you keep that car looking good. It was a good looking car too, with that fan, partial top.
I paid $5,000 for it. I had it forever. Listen to this shit. I sold that car when I moved to Nashville. God, I bought it in the late 70s. Early 80s. And then I sold it in Nashville when the car had 356,000 miles on it. I sold it to a guy named Glenn McPhee for $3,000. He put another 150,000 miles on it and sold it to his brother. So that car had over 500,000 miles on it. And no major repairs, no transmission, no motor, no nothing. We just changed the oil. And Glenn did the same thing. And Glenn went to Trevecca Nazarene College down in Nashville. So he said the last I knew of that car, it had over 550,000 miles on it. And that was sneaking up on 1992, 93, something like that. So
who did you marry?
I married a young lady named Gabrielle Nadinger, who was a devout Catholic. Gabrielle was from down here. She was down here around, God, what's the name of the street? Near Baxter Avenue. Yeah. And her parents were the Smythe family that lived down here in Louisville. And we were married for 4 years. We met here in Louisville, dated for about 2 years, got married in Nashville in 1986, got divorced in Marietta, Georgia in 1990. Nothing hateful. We just, just with her being a very extreme devout Catholic, I am not religious at all. It had to come out eventually on the show. And we just really didn't click over. And she ended up marrying a guy 10 years older than her, who's also a devout Catholic, and they were meant to be, and we're still friends. As a matter of fact, David, her husband's probably watching the show right now. He said he was anxious to hear what stories you had to tell. Everybody's looking for dirt on the old king is what they're looking for. They want dirt.
Kenny told me the three most important words in the world were statute of limitations.
Probably so.
You can't get me for that. Todd Alexander has never once bothered to get a goddamn membership in the show. The biggest nothing since a zero. George Goulis, what do you know? Did you ever beat him?
That's right.
By the way,
so how did you and Bob hook up here?
Bob used to do a podcast for and what was his wrestling gimmick name?
Terry Garvin.
Terry Garvin. He used to wrestle Terry Sims was his real name, and I did his podcast, and Bob was his co-host back then. And then eventually I went through a lot of co-hosts. I used to just do other people's networks, and finally figured out I probably just should do this shit on my own. and have my own podcast where I get paid the money for people that watch it.
Right.
And then decided to start doing the charity work. And just before COVID hit, the fans started helping out because otherwise it was just me doing it. And then when COVID hit, I said, well, I'm going to need some help. So when COVID hit, the fans started donating. I don't know if anyone's donated tonight. Normally, if they're hearing great stories, they don't donate so good. I haven't even looked to see if anyone's donated yet because I'm having a good time. TC said he was going to donate a little something tonight. Tyler from North Carolina. So if there's anybody saying anything worthy of posting, Bob, feel free to throw it up as we go. I know it goes up over the sponsor logos, but that's kind of what they're here for. And so I met Bob then, and then Bob, when Bob's wife passed away, you made a big donation to me for something.
Your teeth.
And I forget what it was. What's that?
It was your teeth that you never got fixed.
Oh, my teeth that I still to this day never got fixed. Yeah. About 4 years ago. Well, here's the good news is I've been to the dentist. We're in the process. They're telling me it could be 8 months to a year before they actually put dentures in my mouth. I go to the U of L School of Dentistry finally to get this done because I've got $3,500 worth of coverage on my Aetna card. And I go, and I said, no. This is how I said it. I said, no, motherfuckers. I'm leaving with teeth in my mouth today. And they said, those commercials are killing us. I saw a thing today where you get hot water and stick these teeth in your mouth. They stick perfectly. They won't come out. They're $30.95. I think I sent you the screenshot, Bob. Did I send you the screenshot?
I don't think so, but
well, I did. You just need to look.
Probably, yes, Kenny. You sent me the screenshot. I was amazed by it.
Learn to fucking work.
I'm a slow worker. I'm the George Goulas of producers.
Grab an arm bar, Bob. Grab an arm bar. So I see these dentures for $39 that you put in hot water, and they're just showing people left and right, putting them in their mouth. Doesn't matter how many teeth you have right now; they'll fit perfectly. No complaints, 100% satisfaction, triple your money back guarantee, all this shit. I'm surprised. I'm shocked they let you buy them on PayPal because PayPal will normally protect you against something like that. But
so you got them?
So no, I didn't get them. If I think it's a scam, then it's probably a scam. So Bob, eventually, how did it come to the point that you ended up becoming my co-host?
Well, I think you had I'd
gone through a few.
Yeah,
I'd gone through a few.
And
as my son says, Dad, you're a lot to deal with.
Yeah. The last one kind of just fell off the face of the earth because he had mental issues or something.
He did.
And just sort of disappeared. And I had come
People
on.
say I have those issues too, but I function through them.
Yeah, I've been on as a guest several times because I've been dumb enough to send some money in.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Yeah, that'll teach me. And it just sort of became, you needed some graphics. I was able to do those graphics for you. And it just, next thing I know, I've been an indentured servant for the rest of my life.
Sounds like he's bitching, don't it, Officer Clark? Sounds a lot like he's bitching.
You know what? I do tell Kenny that I'm worth every dime he pays me.
You are. Okay, we have two small donations in the house so far. Zach Bonifer has donated. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
Okay, Zach Bonifer has donated $11. We must have a bit of a delay there with Mr. Clark. So I'm going to shut up and you go ahead.
You know who Pork Chop is, right?
Yeah.
Stands up on the corner, down an eye put out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Screams and yells at everybody.
Yes. You're not going to tell me he's still alive.
Yeah, he sure is.
Holy shit.
I mean, just nuttier than a shithouse rat.
I thought he died in the 70s.
No, he's still.
No, oh my God. Okay, he should have died in the 70s. I'm shocked somebody hadn't shot him.
Calvin died, but Pork Chop did.
Calvin the wheelbarrow man. Calvin the wheelbarrow man. And I like Calvin. I interact as good as anybody can interact with Calvin. I interacted with Calvin.
Yeah,
me and Mike Coffey, if you remember, me and Mike would stop and talk to Calvin, where a lot of people would not. And me and Mike would stop and talk to him, and help him if we could. So we have $11.26 from Calvin the Wheelbarrow Man. not Calvin the Wheelbarrow. That was Zach Bonifer. Calvin did not donate. I promise you. I was also told that if you went in Calvin's house, he had more cash than about half of us in LaGrange combined, from where he would collect money down at Dairy Queen, Burger Queen, Druthers, whatever the case may be. And they said somebody went in his house and he had more cash in his mattress than you could throw a stick at. I forget why they went in. That's the story I was told. I didn't go in his house. But Tyler Cox from North.
Dizzy Dave's, was that there when you remember that?
Dizzy Dave's. Yes, I remember Dizzy Dave's, and of course Huggy Bears, the video game place.
Yeah, Dizzy Dave's was across from Jerry's Corner Store in Hell.
Yes, it was. Yeah, Head's Drugstore. Head's Drugstore. I was a frequent shopper at.
Yeah.
By the way, the first time I ever had to get on Adrian Reynolds is that he come to my house because I went through a lot of cassette tapes. I used to audio record a shitload of tape. Adrian Reynolds comes to my house and he's got a 3-pack of Searchron audio cassettes. What you give me for them, Rison? I said, I don't know. What'd you pay for them? He just looks at me. He said, what you give me for them? I said, I don't know. I'll give you $2. Deal. Yeah. So I give him the $2. Where'd you get them at? Head's Drugstore. I said, what'd you pay for them? I didn't. I said, you little son of a bitch. Come up here selling me stolen. I said, I know it's $2, but goddamn, no, don't do that. I'll buy my goddamn tape. You save me that much. So no, he stole them from Head's Drugstore. He was like 16, I guess. And stole. So Officer Clark, thanks to the statute of limitations, I confess I bought stolen merchandise from Adrian Reynolds in 1976. I present myself to you, sir.
Did you remember when Kerry Duncan was a trooper, right?
Yes, I wrote Kerry earlier today and sent him a link to the show, or at least his Facebook page. But yeah, I remember Kerry Duncan, state trooper.
Have you seen his picture?
Not recently.
The reason I say that, when he retired, he said, for 20 years, they told me how to wear my hair, and everything. And he said, I'm never going to cut it again.
Oh, my God.
It grew out, and it got to the Joe Dirt stage, and then it got to the...
no, I hadn't seen any of that. But I know Kerry very well, yeah. Kerry was always very good to me as well. Kerry was always gold to me.
Yeah. And then my hell now, I mean, it's down to his waist. It went past.
Oh my God. No, I did not know that. Wow. Yeah, because as a state trooper, you don't get to do that.
Yeah, he said he wasn't ever going to get it cut, and he held to it.
I guess he held to that. God, there was somebody else today that I think was in...
It looked like Kid Rock for a while, and then it went on past Kid Rock to...
Well, that's not a compliment. Let me see, because there's one other police officer married to Jody Barnett. Does that ring a bell with you? I'm trying to find his name.
Oh, yeah. Ricky Simmons.
Yeah, I wrote Ricky and sent him a link to the show today, and told him I'd appreciate it if he watched. Jody and Ricky have been friends of mine for a long time, and
he's on Campbellsburg Police now.
Oh, is he still on the force?
On Campbellsburg.
Okay, yeah. I knew they weren't in Oldham County anymore, but yeah, I sent him a link to the show, and we interact from time to time on Facebook. And Jeff Money I hear from every now and then, but I forgot how I was interacting with him, and I was hoping he would get to watch the shit. I'd have sent him a join link. He wouldn't be as nice to me as you are, because Jeff always loved to mess with me. Jeff, we knew Kenny had a bank vault under his bed.
He had a bad heart attack years ago, but then he had bypass, and I think he's been good ever since then. But
I think we had a third donation. Jody Barnett, I used to have a big crush on in school, so I was pissed that she ended up with
a cute
little thing, and she ended up with that police officer friend there. Hang on, little bitty thing. I think Randy Satterley donated something, but it didn't go. Randy Satterley, $25 challenge from Randy Satterley. So we have $11 from Zach Bonifer, $10 from Randy. $10 from TC from the NC from North Carolina, and we have a $25 challenge from Randy Satterley. So 25, 35, 40, about $46 so far. We try to make about 100 per show. That will help at least 2 families, maybe 3, depending what's going on. I did send out $50 earlier to buy 3 kids shoes, bras, and panties for the 2 daughters. And believe it or not, we got 3 pairs of shoes, 12 bra and panties for $50. So I went ahead and sent that early because they needed shoes for school today, and I didn't want to make them wait. Bob made a nice challenge on the previous show of $100. No one's matched it yet, but it was nice. So yeah, thank you, Randy Macho Man. We appreciate it. Thank you, TC from the NC, and Teresa Adcock bought something and it's labeled fish supplies. Yeah,
you're gonna interview John Cena's dad, right?
Thursday night, 4:00 or Thursday afternoon.
I just wonder. Okay, John Cena is a multi-millionaire now.
He supposedly from estimates he makes about $40 million a year.
So is he taking care of his dad, or you know? I mean,
that's well.
I mean, he ought to send you $1 million just for shits and giggles. You know.
You know what? We're gonna clip that and send that to John. So that
we should click that and send that to John Cena.
I met him when he came over to
I brought the subject up before. I do know that John bought his father an SUV a few years ago. My son and my ex-wife go up and visit John Cena Sr. in Boston, quite near Boston. They go to a restaurant called Kowloon's. Kowloon's is very popular, and John Cena memorabilia is all over that restaurant. Replica belts, autographed boots, tights, you name it. That restaurant is filled with John Cena stuff. I
told you when I was in Iraq, and him and
when they used to do the shows for the troops over there, I believe, right?
Yeah, he came over and he was eating in our chow hall, and I couldn't believe how short he was. And he's really inverted. He didn't talk a whole lot or anything.
Yeah.
And then I've done security when he's coming.
Well, Mr. Clark, how tall are you, Mr. Clark?
I'm 6 foot.
6 foot. Okay. I think what is John listed as? Because I'm pretty sure, because I've stood next to John on many interviews. I'm 6 foot, and I thought John was taller than me.
I think they've got a look-alike that they take around on some of these people.
That's possible. Rocky Johnson had a look-alike. He worked with us at OVW, and his name was I can't remember his name, but he looked just like The Rock. So when The Rock had a movie, when the Scorpion King, when that debuted, we put Rocky's cousin in a limousine and took him with us. Everybody, and even this guy's like 5'7", 5'6", but he looked just like The Rock. Same haircut, tattoos. He was The Rock, only 5'7". Well, everybody thought he was still The Rock. So we're putting him. We don't tell everybody he's The Rock. We're just there to see Scorpion King. Me, John Cena, various others are in the limo, but me and Cena are nowhere near as famous as what the Scorpion King is. So we get out. Rico Constantino's with us. Randy Orton's there. Randy tries to horn in our limo. Well, Randy's a bad guy. Randy's a good guy. Me, Cena, and Rocky's cousin are bad guys. So we're okay to be in the limo together. Randy is not supposed to be in the limo with us, and he's trying to get in. He wants to be part of the deal. So I had to rat Randy out. I said, goddamn, Randy tried to jump in our limo. I said, Jimmy, he's a babyface. So Jimmy lit him up. Randy got mad at me because I ratted him out. I said, well, everybody saw it. Somebody was going to tell him. Better Jimmy hear it from me than someone else. Now I'm in trouble for not telling him that a good guy tried to get in the limo with the bad guys. So, yeah, but Randy's come a long way.
Some of these people, they make $40 million. It's like, man, remember where you came from. Remember to do your little steps. $40 million. I mean,
a lot of them do not. A lot of them don't. Now, John is the #1 grantor of Make-A-Wish. I don't know how much money he donates. I have no idea, but he does give a lot of his time, and he does give a lot of his time. And he is the #1 grantor of Make-A-Wish, to where he goes to the hospital, meets the kids, and everything. But John Cena Sr. does pay for things this day and age that I'm shocked he still pays for. But and I think it was phrased to me once. He didn't offer and I didn't ask. That was how it was phrased to me.
it's not just wrestlers. It's sports figures or anybody.
People in general. People in general.
Just people. I mean, how much money do you need? $40 million.
Well, there you go. How much do you need? How much do you need? When I hear of, like Mark Cuban donates a lot to charity, and you hear about the family, how much do you need? And that's Bob figured out that I was donating about 30% of my income there at one time. I don't know if it's 30% anymore, but it used to be. And about 30% of my income was going to help these families. And I said, Bob, shit, I didn't realize it was that much. And I said, now that I add that up, that's a shitload of money. And I said, but all my bills are paid. My refrigerator's full. There's nothing around here that I don't want. If I do want it, I got access to the money to get it. If I want to cash out an investment or something, I can get a bigger TV if I want one. But how much do you need? I
tell you what, if my kid hits something and got $40 million, he can give me some or I whip his ass. I mean,
you better not have a mortgage. You better not. Lemonhead's in here. We don't see Lemonhead often, but he's got a evening from Toronto. Nice to see you, Lemonhead. We're trying to raise money to help our families here tonight, little buddy. We've raised what, Bob? $40, 25, 35, 46. We've raised $46.
So you got a lot of people all over the world, right?
Oh yeah. We have people we have people in Istanbul, Turkey that watch the show. Of course, all over the Philippines.
Our Facebook folks are from the Philippines.
Yeah, go ahead and click all the Filipinos watching the show, Bob.
It'd take a while.
She is one of the 16-year-old kids that we help. She's one of the ones. Pinky. Oh God, throw her back up again, and we'll see if anybody wants to help.
Let me find
the little girl that was back up that needs mattresses and pillows.
Eunice,
there's Eunice. Eunice is and let's face it, Eunice is probably her and Art Gel are two of my very favorites that we've been helping them for 5 or 6 years. Jambi, we've helped quite a bit. Cheska, I just helped earlier today get a load for her phone so she can do her schoolwork. Cheska's a sweetheart. BB, what a name, Mylene, we've helped from time to time on the show. That's her and her kids. Now, I helped her earlier today to get shoes for her brothers and sister. We needed to get 5 pairs of shoes total. We had already bought 2 pairs, so we got 3 more pairs of shoes, backpacks, but they also need mattress and pillows. I've seen the pictures. They sleep on cardboard boxes. Their roof was leaking. We got a tarp for their roof. And this is what I'm going to talk to Scaramucci about tomorrow, is can we do something to where we got some money coming in for the rest of the year to put bathrooms in some of these houses. When I say a bathroom, they just want a commode and something indoors so they can go to the bathroom. It's not like what we have. They call it a comfort room. Otherwise, they go outside and go in a bucket on rainy days. And so I would like to improve a few of those homes, put some tarps on some homes. Patchworking the roofs can get expensive because once you fix one part, the next typhoon messes up another. We have discovered that the tarps, the double hook tarps, are a better way to go because it covers the entire roof, a good portion of the side of the house, and really keeps the rain out a lot better than just doing patchwork. Angela wrote a book. Can you throw that up?
This is Art Gel's mom.
That's Art Gel's mom, which we just helped recently with her dental work.
Yeah, she had a sore tooth that had to be pulled out.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, her face was, I don't know if I still have the picture. Her face was
totally swollen. I don't know if we still have it, but yeah, her face was totally swollen. And the dentists work a little different over there. They don't take you really that day. They put you on medication, and then they remove the bad teeth. And this poor kid was good. But 2 days after they took her tooth out, the swelling had gone. She was smiling again and doing good. Little Art Gel, she's 10 or 11 years old and just one of my favorite kids. And we gave her. Go ahead.
Speaking of books, let me do a commercial real quick.
Yeah,
I've got about 5 or 6 books on it. 5 or 6 books on Amazon. Just go on Amazon. And in the
I didn't know that. I've only got 1 book.
Yeah, Officer Dennis Clark. Canine. Okay. And 2 of them are children's books. One of them's about all my police dogs that I had through the years. And then some of them are just about the wild, crazy runs that we make. And then one of them is about Iraq. So they're cheap. They're inexpensive. I cut them down as low as I could. So just go in the search bar, Officer Dennis Clark, and it'll start bringing them up.
Officer Dennis Clark. Yeah, do that, guys. And check it out. No, I was not aware of that. I got 2 books I'm going to promote here real quick. This won't take long.
Let me do this real quick while you're doing that. I'm going to share this. There's the Amazon page.
There we go.
For Dennis Clark.
Yeah.
Canine Partners and Our True Stories. Canine Dash. We Were Not Navy SEALs.
Your books are a lot more affordable than mine.
Well, that's the Kindle Unlimited. So $5.69, $9.75 for the paperback, $15 for the paperback there. For that's when again $12.75. They're on Amazon. Just search for Dennis Clark, Canine Officer. I wanted to ask you, saw the T-shirt about the dogs that you'd worked with, and
now what was the name of your dog that recently passed away, Mr. Clark?
Dash. It was Dash.
Dash. Not after Dash Riprock.
No, I had Dash for 10 years.
10 years.
5 of it we rode in West Mutual, so it was wild and woolly. But
not too far down the road from where I'm at. West Mutual ain't that far away.
I had him for 10 years, and then from 1980 till now, I had 10 different dogs. One of them was killed on duty, and one of them died in a training accident. And then it's a good book. I mean,
that's a hard way to lose your dog there through training.
Yeah, and Dash,
and he got duty too. Yeah,
It was what happened was we had a guy on a break-in. He took off. He was hiding in the woods. Sent the dog in, and he was on PCP at that time. And he got him by the choke chain, and then he kicked him in the ribs, and one of his ribs broke and tore his liver. And next day, we had him in the vet, but he bled to death because
Lord, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's got to be horrible to deal with.
Yeah.
Now my book on Amazon is not a lot higher than yours. I think it's $14.95. And here you go, Mr. Clark. I probably screwed you too. Sounds like a confession.
I remember that.
I probably screwed you too. The mostly true stories of Kenny Starmaker Bolin.
When I saw that, that's the best fucking title I ever saw. I mean, that's a good fucking title.
I thought it was a good title. I thought, as a matter of fact, there were people that read that title and just thought it was going to be full of all these confessions of crimes and everything, and not so many. And then my friend Anthony Scaramucci coming on the show Thursday, 4 p.m. along with John Cena Sr. This is his book, Wall Street to the White House and Back. And now this book, I think on Amazon is $30 or $35. This is a hardback cover, by the way. But he was kind enough to autograph several of these. I think I got 5 left, and we're going to push these on the show that he's on. And they sell shipped to your door for $59.95. So Mr. Clark's book,
that guy didn't last very long, dude.
He was it's called "How Long Did You Last in the White House? 1 Scaramucci or 2 Scaramuccis?" Which is you lasted 11 days or 22 days. Oh, I lasted 3 Scaramuccis, so that means you made it 33 days. So they measure your term in the White House. But now he was around longer than that, but his job as actual communications director. So I had him on my show the first time several years ago when Trump was in office the first time, and he started following me on Twitter, which blew me away. Because I am not known to be a Trump guy, just to make it open and clear. And then I see the White House communications director following me on Twitter. And I've got like 12,000 followers. He's got like 1.5 million. I'm going, this is weird. So I look at it and I think it's a fake account. And I was, a fake account wouldn't have 1.5 million followers on Twitter. So it turns out it's real. So I write him and say, Mr. Scaramucci, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm not a Trump guy, and you're following me. Is there a reason for it? Yeah, I met your wrestler at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, John Cena. So John Cena and his girlfriend at that time, was it which Bella was it? The one that's in WWE now?
Nikki, I think.
Nikki Bella. So they're at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and Mr. Scaramucci is talking politics with John Cena. And John's going, man, I'm telling you, man, we're just invited here. I'm not really that political of a guy. But if you want to talk politics, you need to talk to my manager, Kenny Bolin. He'll talk politics with you all day long. So he's okay, I'll do that. So he gives him my handle, Starmaker Bolin, on Twitter. And he starts following me. So I said, well, I tell you what, Mr. Scaramucci, if you'd like to come on my show, I'd love to have you on and we'll talk and I'll treat you fairly. And because as Bob will tell you, I have people with the opposite opinion of mine on the show all the time to kind of see why we feel the way we do. And so Scaramucci does my show and he tells me he's going to do the Bill Maher show that weekend. And I said, well, be careful what you say on that show. I said, if you say something that pisses Trump off, you might not have your job much longer. Oh, no. Me and Mr. Trump, I've known him for 25, 30 years. We're fine. Don't you worry about that. As a matter of fact, I'll talk to Mr. Trump and have him come on your show if you'd like. I said, well, you pitch him on that and see how that goes. So I'm just playing along going, he's not going to get Trump on my show. And as president of the United States, is coming on my piddly ass show. So he goes out and does the Bill Maher show and he criticizes Donald Trump on some things he had done. Trump calls him immediately. Well, he hasn't even got out of the studio on the Bill Maher show yet. And he's lighting Scaramucci up. And how it was phrased to me is that, hey, let me explain something to you. I do this job as a favor to you. I make more money than you do. Shove your job up your ass. But for public persona, he went ahead. Yeah, I got fired. I got fired in 11 days. So what? Who gives a shit? But he called me after the show. And Scaramucci's also a devout Catholic. He knew that I professed to be agnostic, not a Trump supporter. He obviously was. And he calls me after the show. My landline lights up, A. Scaramucci. And I'm going, what the hell? Because it's like an hour after the show. And I said, hello, this Kenny. He says, Kenny, Anthony Scaramucci. I said, yeah, that's what my caller ID says. He said, I just wanted to call you and thank you for having me on your show. And he says that for us to have such different opinions and you still had me on your show, I appreciate that. And he said, I just want to let you know something, Kenny. You claim to be agnostic. You're not. You do too many good things. I said, well, I don't think you have to be religious to be good and decent to people. I said, I don't think that's the qualification. It's just to be good to people that are less fortunate than you. To me, is not that hard. I see that in you, Mr. Clark. I see you try to do that. So he says, I'm going to make a prediction, Kenny. You and I are going to be friends for a long time. That was during Trump's first administration. He's done my show. This will be his 10th appearance coming up Thursday.
Is he an attorney or what's he do now?
He is the lead of Skybridge, which is big in finance, big in Bitcoin. He was, if I had listened to him when it was first talking about Bitcoin, if I had $20,000 saved for my son put aside, and I kept being begged to put it into Bitcoin, and I didn't do it. I've been reminded that if I'd put that $20,000 into Bitcoin many years ago when I was asked to do it, that it would be worth in the neighborhood of $23 million now. For $20,000 back in the early days. But I didn't do it.
I saw in the news where he had bought some Amazon stock for his son back when his son was born and had forgot about it. And then he saw like recently, oh crap. And it was worth like, I think he bought like $1,000 worth of Amazon, but it was worth now like $200,000 or something.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not a bad return on your $1,000.
Dude, that's a cool guy. I mean, that's a player. It's good that you're in with him. Dude.
And here's the other thing about him: the nicest guy, and he would have been a great wrestling manager because you can't rattle him. And I watch news all day long, and I watch Fox Entertainment, I watch CNN, MSNBC, BBC. If it's news, I watch it because I have it on in the background while I do my other shit during the day. I've always been a news junkie ever since I was a teenager. Probably I love watching the news, but I like getting all perspectives and all opinions, and then what makes sense, what adds up, what's good and what's bad, what's good for people, what's bad for people, and that's how I evaluate it. And But Mooch, you can't rattle him. He'll do these interviews and he'll have the left attack him. He'll have the right attack him. And they just put a full court press. And you cannot rattle him. And I told him, I said, you would have been a great wrestling manager. Number one, because you're not a big man. It looks like everybody can whip your ass. I said, but intellectually, you can't be rattled. And you always have a smooth presentation on how to get out of a situation and always come across the smarter guy. And that would have been a great wrestling manager. and which I will remind him again probably on the show Thursday. Bang Gen TV, I know that name from somewhere. Is that? Oh yeah, I think I recall that name. Yeah, there we go. And
Hey,
but yeah, we
Kenny,
have
I got a scoop. You got anything you want to ask me before I go, bud?
Oh, let's see. Yeah, you did go overtime with us tonight. You went an hour and 19 minutes.
Yeah.
Your best and worst memories of being a K9 officer in LaGrange.
Best memories. God.
Yeah, what's the best and what's the worst thing you remember?
Well, the best is all the prisoners over at the prison that escaped, that I call it. And
how many did you get?
Oh God, I could see in the newspaper.
3 reasons and a scooter.
Yeah, one time they were playing a softball game. Now get this: somebody hit a home run. 5 of the prisoners, that were playing went after the home run, and they just kept going. So we had 5 escape at once, and it took 3 days.
I remember that story. I remember that.
Yeah. Me and the
They
dog
jumped in the
all
lake,
5 of them.
and they thought they were in Indiana when they got across that lake, right? And they were actually at Butler State Park or something.
Yeah,
but these dumbasses thought they'd crossed the river, Bob. These dumbasses thought they had swam across the mighty Ohio. They swam across the lake, and they were in Butler State Park or something. Didn't realize you were the guy that got them, though. I didn't know that you were the guy that got them.
Yeah, and then the worst is probably not with my dog. I mean, you'd think of a dog.
Obviously.
But I had a dog one time with explosive diarrhea, and he turned his ass toward me, and when it exploded, it came through the screen and hit in my face and my head.
That's not a good memory. It's not good.
And I was sitting at a red light, and the people were looking over like, "Holy shit, what's going on in that car?"
Oh my God!
So I turn on the lights and siren, go to the police department, jump in the shower. I mean, it was rough.
Oh my God! Well, that is a great way to end tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that didn't catch his name at the beginning of the show, Jake the Snake Roberts. Everybody, who would have thought? Who would have thought we'd have had Jake the Snake
with a face full of dog shit? There you go.
Face full of dog shit on Jake the Snake Roberts.
Have me back on, we'll do that Jake the Snake shit.
Well, Mr. Clark, I'd love to have you back on again. And I tell you what, if you can round up the Jeff Moneys and the Officer Paynes or anybody that's still out there, let's have a group show one day and just get 3 or 4 of you on here and just have some fun. And they may not be as nice to me as you were, especially Jeff Money. He's going to shit all over me. I know that.
The Old County Retired Police Officers Association.
Yeah, the only reason we all had jobs is Kenny Rison out in the sewer panels.
I told you this a while back, but it makes me feel good when I see people that, got out and did good and got away and made a good name for themselves.
We've been friends on Facebook for a while, and you've always been so complimentary and so nice, and I've always appreciated it. This is the first show of this type that I've done to where I just wanted to do it for fun, and if we made a few bucks along the way, that's great. And but no, thank you so much, my friend, and you're welcome here. Well, you're welcome here anytime, and I appreciate that. And there's about 100 people out there disagreeing with you right now, but I appreciate it.
Hey, Bob, take care, buddy.
It's nice to meet you, sir. Thank you. Thank
nice
you for your service.
Buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your service. Very good. Very good. Anybody that took a piece of dog shit deserves to be thanked for their service. I'll tell you that.
All right.
There we go.
All right. So, Kenny, before we go tonight, we did want to touch on.
Well, and by the way, Officer Clark said I was a good guy, so y'all write that down in your black book. Yeah.
Raja Jackson.
Yeah.
Son of Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
When I first saw this, I thought that it was some asshole who had just gotten too big for his britches, right? Which, I think he may be. But there's some folks out there that think this entire thing was a shoot. The getting hit in the head with the can was a shoot. The fact that he's just jumping out of the audience on his own, that wasn't a planned action. That was that, folks. That whole fucking thing was work.
Here's what we're going to do on that. We lost a donor today over my opinions on this. and mainly because of how I handle. I think because we're going to save our and my evaluations of what happened when we actually got some money coming in. We only made $46 tonight. I wasn't expecting we might make a whole lot. I'm sure some people are saving their money for the Scaramucci show, or maybe not. But I had people write me, Kenny, I would pay to get your opinion on the Rampage Jackson. Is that what it's called?
Well, Roger Jackson.
Roger Jackson.
Is the dad.
Yeah, Rampage is dad. Well, for those of you that want to make a donation and get my opinion on this, after the Scaramucci, because Scaramucci ain't going to be able to stay 90 minutes. I know that already. We're probably going to have him 30, 45 minutes, an hour at the most. And then after that, and hopefully the donations will be decent because we got John Cena Sr. on that show as well, I will go into full depth as to why there's a lot of fucking stupid people out there that don't know what they're talking about.
And we'll get Cena's take on it also.
We'll get Cena's take on it as well, if he has seen it, and I would think he has. We lost Donald Flowers today because he kept going on and on about his opinion on it, and I was giving him mine free of charge. And I'll address this right now, and y'all tell me if I went too far or not. And I did apologize for it. He kept going on and on and on, and I said, "Well, I've been in this business for 32 fucking years, and I know a work when I see one, and I know a shoot when I see one. Yeah, the guy got hurt, and like I said, we're going to cover this in full detail after the Scaramucci show, assuming the donations are good. I ain't giving this shit away for free because hopefully we're going to educate some people. But I've been around 32 fucking years in this business at all levels, from the lowest to the highest. 32 fucking years. I know a goddamn work when I see one. I know a shoot when I see one. And I know a combination thereof when I see one. But yet Donald Flowers wanted to tell, I said, well, what are you basing this on, Donald? And Donald goes, well, I've read a lot of reports. I said, well, good. I've lived this fucking business for 32 fucking years. Actually longer than that, because I've been around it on the inside a lot longer than I've been working in it. And I've continued to be around it a lot longer since I retired from it in 2012. I just happen to have worked in it for 32 years, 17 years at the OVW level. And so I will give my full-blown opinions on that. But the thing that I said that pissed Donald off is that I said, Donald, are you fucking drinking? And Donald was highly offended by that because here's what I did not know. Donald says that he's been on the wagon for, I think he said 18 months. I didn't know that. He said that his feelings were hurt. He was highly offended. And he was going to step back from the show. He wasn't going to donate anymore because I hurt his feelings. And I said, well, Donald, I am sorry. I didn't realize that you'd been on the wagon for 18 months. I didn't realize that I had hurt your feelings. I said, but hey, I'm a fat guy who gets called a fat guy all the time. My feelings, I guess, can't be hurt because, yeah, I was fat. What am I going to argue about? And if you had a drinking problem.
You have a thick skin. I mean, that's just.
I do. And I mean, I don't want you coming in here trying to take over the show being a
thin skin, right? No, I'm not.
No.
I understand why he was upset.
Yeah. And I apologize for it. I didn't realize, Donald. So I apologize, and I've got it in writing where I apologize to him. I'm sorry.
Here's a public apology, right? This is.
Yeah. But
right now.
But, yeah, and here's another public apology. I'm sorry that offended you. But for you to say, because I hurt your feelings or I offended you, that I'm no longer going to help these kids, that irks me. And I more or less told him, if that's how you feel, you're not the type of people we want associated with this show anyway. If that's how you feel. Now, if he's mad and angry and he wants to come back, well, Kenny, I was just mad, I don't want to fuck the kids over because me and you had a beef over what you know about the wrestling business. If that's the case, then I'm fine. But if I have to tell you, allow me to finish. If I have to tell you what you want to hear to get you to donate to help kids on this show, I don't want your money. We'll find it elsewhere. I'm not going to blow you for you to make a donation on this show. As we state on the show, my opinions are mine. But then again, I am a bit of an expert in the field of shoots and works. I've done enough of them. I've been a part of many of them, and I know one when I fucking see one. And the minute I saw this, I had my opinions, and then I got a call from a very close personal friend of mine that's a relative, and we 100% agreed up and down the line. I said, well, let me hear your thought. Let me see if I'm wrong on this. because this person's pretty fucking smart about the wrestling business too. And I'm going, God damn. It's like I just fucking said what you just said. And so I got his opinion. So, okay, well, that's two of us that have experience in this business that know what the fuck we're talking about. And we agree 100% on what we saw. But then I see another famous wrestler who's a podcasting buddy who does a lot of podcasts. And he tells me one thing that's in total alignment with me and my relative friend. And then he goes on posting something of the total opposite to get clicks. Well, I'm not going to do that. You're going to get my true fucking opinion. I'm not going to do the click, the view thing. You'll get the true opinion on the Scaramucci show after Scaramucci wraps up. Because like I said, he's not going to be able to give us 90 minutes like Mr. Clark just did. And then we will go into it full blown then. Because I'm expecting with Scaramucci on the show, hopefully we'll get a couple of nice donations with John Cena Sr. being on the show. And if John would like, we will have him hang on after the show and we'll get his opinion on it as well. And he might disagree. I don't know what his opinion is, but a lot of people are writing me saying, Kenny, I'll pay you for your opinion. Well, good. Make a donation. You ain't paying me shit. Make a donation to the charity and I'll be more than happy to give you my opinion. And I think once I give you that opinion, if you're reasonably smart and listen to people that know more about the subject than you do, you might understand why we come to that conclusion. Me and people that have lived this business for 32 years. But there are a lot of people out there trying to cash in on this. So I think once we explain it, and Bob and I chatted, and I think Bob immediately pretty much agreed. And Bob was not in the business on a consistent level for 32 years the way I was, but he saw pretty much what I saw. So I don't think you have to be in the business 32 years to know what happened. Just a little knowledge of the business and how it works is all it takes. But Donald, he was riding that cow all the way to town, and my dad didn't steal it. My dad did not take that cow. He let him have it.
Not that one.
So, like I said, I apologize to Donald if I hurt your feelings, but don't ambush the show to say, well, if you don't tell me what I want to hear, or if you hurt my feelings, I'm not going to help these kids. So that's where you hurt my feelings. Yeah, and I'm going to throw one more scenario out real quick. Y'all know Jazzy Jana. Well, I made a joke once that hurt Jazzy Jana's feelings. I was hitting on her, acting like she was an easy pickup, I guess, when she was interested in someone else. And she thought maybe that I had irked that someone else. And I said, no, I think the other person knows I was joking too. But it was a joke, and that's what it was. But she was mad at me for a long time. But you know what Jazzy Jana didn't do? She didn't quit donating to the kids. Even though she wouldn't speak to me, she would not respond to me, never said a word to me for about 3 or 4 months over the joke I made. And I tried to explain, honey, I was just joking. I didn't mean anything by it. But it took about 3 or 4 months, and then finally she realized, yeah, I guess he was joking. Let's get over this shit. She donated every fucking show. Every fucking show, there'd be a donation from Jazzy Jana. Mad at me, but didn't hijack her money to help the kids. And and that's why she's the only person that's got a key to block people on this show. Block, I said, to block people on this show. Yes. Block. And that's where I got a lot of respect for her, because even though she was mad at me, and in her mind, she had every reason to be. In my mind, I just made a joke. Same thing with Donald today. I did not know Donald had been on the wagon. I think he said 8 months or 18 months or however long. God damn. I don't know. So, Donald, do what you want to do. But if you're going to hijack your money because I hurt your feelings, then I don't want your money.
Well, you guys probably don't really remember this, or some of you, again, thought it was a work when I was gone from this show for 6 weeks. It was not a work. I was pissed, and I forget what it cost it, but I don't remember what cost it, but I was pissed.
Well, go ahead, remind me, because I didn't realize you were gone 6 weeks. Maybe you were.
Yeah. We had there was we were talking about something. I think it was a political show. And I was trying to make a point. And I could not.
You were trying to be fair about the opinion, and I wouldn't let you. I remember now.
I finally had enough. Look, I can't get a fucking word in edgewise. I don't need to be here in the first place. And I walked off the show.
He did.
Clicked off, left.
Well, I never heard from him again for quite some time.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I still help with the show because
He did.
Kids.
He did.
It's the Miley's and the Ruby Mays and the Dumpany Lins. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And it's the Art Gels and it's the Deloses and it's the Jambies and all these people that were helping that
just need the basic of help. And but if you're
take for granted every fucking day.
Yeah.
I mean, let me show this. I got this still up.
All right.
I wanted to.
I forgot it was 6 weeks. I didn't realize it.
There ain't nobody watching
I'm glad
this
you
show.
Still got it. No. Unless you're in the Philippines. Unless you're in the Philippines.
Well, there's nobody in the United States watching the show.
No, that's dealing with that. No,
that
nobody.
lives in that.
Not one of you.
It's not like, oh yeah, my barn has got a leak in it, or the shed.
Oh, I forgot I have this. The autographed Bill Dundee miniature action figure. You can see his signature there. Actual size. I think there's 2 of them left. I know I got one. There might be 2. I can't remember if one of them got shipped out or not, but there's at least one. Autographed by Bill Dundee. I got a couple of pictures autographed by him. Guys, we're getting older. We're getting older. So Mr. Clark never gave me his age, did he? Can we look up his age? He never told me how old he was.
I'm not sure.
I want that man's age. He's got to be a little older than me, I would think.
So, do you remember?
I was just a punk ass kid in '76 when he got the job.
Yeah, do you remember back in the 70s and 80s? There was a trend that went on for a little bit where people would release these novelty records where they would play the reporter on the street, and there'd be some clip that the guy would say, take totally out of context and stuff.
Yeah.
So the first time we had Bill Dundee on the show with Terry Garvin, when Bill came on with Terry, I took these little clips and I put them together, and I think I still have it somewhere. I'll have to find it, see if I can. And I told Terry,
oh God,
not yet, dear, not yet. I told Terry we have a new sponsor, and it was Bill Dundee's Christmas Elf Rentals.
Okay.
And
no, I didn't. I missed out on that one.
Clips. No, yes,
I missed out on that one.
And I played it for Terry, and he'd never heard it before until I played it on the air live for him.
Okay.
And he just busting out laughing and says, "You better hope that you never see Bill Dundee."
Oh no, you don't.
He will remember this for the rest of his natural life.
He would. I'm getting ready to take a screenshot here that they normally come out a little cleaner. Hang on here. Get ready to give it in 5, 4. Give a big smile. There we go.
There we go.
Got a little screenshot there for the show because we never smile. Oh, look at that. I'll send that to you here.
I'm not doing that again. No.
No. Bob sings smiling.
Faces.
The Filipinos are going to get weak if that happens.
I'm just not going to make faces because next thing I know, I'll end up being a Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my God. Oh my God. We got breaking news. I just got word that Jerry Lawler's attorney and my attorney and my son that worked for him. Do you recall the name Tim Dennison?
Yeah.
Tim Dennison was my attorney for a while. My son and daughter-in-law worked for Mr. Dennison for a while.
Yeah.
Cam Moron has just reported me that Tim Dennison has passed away. Oh. And I didn't even know he was sick.
Condolences to the.
I got Tim Dennison a lot of free dinners at the Golden Corral to retain his services.
That's probably what cost him.
Probably what slowly but surely. Hey, I'm still here though. See if you can look up, see how old Tim Dennison was. We were probably close to the same age, I guess. He might have been younger, but he was Lawler's attorney by default because Lawler's attorney, when he got brought in for the Teenagers in Indiana thing, Lawler's attorney didn't show up. And Lawler needed an attorney, and Tim Dennison was there in the courtroom looking for work. And he went, "Well, I'll represent you." So Tim Dennison represented Lawler and the 2 teenagers in Indiana that were claiming Lawler was having sex with them. Jerry going, "Thank you for bringing that up, asshole."
Hey, so, that's a good reminder, right?
Appreciate it, Kenny. But no, so Lawler and I had the same attorney, and Fortunately, he didn't have to defend me on any sex charges or anything. But no, I don't know how Cameron found this out, but he's COVID complicated. Holy shit. If anybody was an anti-vaxxer, it was him. Holy shit. I'm talking about it on the show right now, man. Fuck. Come on, how old was Tim? And I did not know anything about this. Son of a
not
bitch.
Seeing anything.
Well, there's
34 years of experience.
Randy Satterley says he might be 71.
Born in Glasgow. So Tim would be
real age
60
on the man.
years old. Tim would have been
let me see if I can find Bob here. I'll send him the picture that I
born in Glasgow, Kentucky in 1965. So Tim Dennison.
Honey Rose says she's going to school right now.
I guess I'm talking.
Little Scooby in the Philippines has a leg injury. Okay, well. Okay. Where'd
Tim
Bob
Dennison
go?
was 60, by the way.
So I'm almost 6 years older than him.
Yeah, born in 1965.
Okay. I thought I might be a little older than him. Is it reporting from what you've looked up that he passed away?
All I saw was just a report on him personally, and his law firm and stuff. Just not seeing any news.
I guess he was still practicing law. I honestly don't know. Let's see here. Oh shit, Bob, where you at? All right, let me just type in SBS and we'll find it that way.
Had his own little podcast. Everybody had a podcast.
Did he have a podcast too? I didn't know that.
He had a podcast, yeah.
Well, who doesn't?
Welcome to the podcast.
Give me the list of people that don't have a podcast. Let's do that.
Cam Moron.
Did you notice my lighting's a little crisper over here now? Did you notice that?
I did not notice it. Now that you mention it,
blind fuck. Don't get mad and leave for 6 weeks. Don't. No, I added a bonus light over here, and here's why I was going to do it. Put yourself in the little box. Yeah, it's being reported that Tim Dennison passed away. Did that go? There we go. Yeah, the ghost all of a sudden, no money, no badge shows up.
The ghost who always knows everything that's going on in the entire world.
Here's about death, and the Grim Reaper rears its ugly head.
Yeah. This is the first death he hasn't reported personally.
Yeah, I think it is. He got scooped on the death. Let's see here. What was I going to do? Give me a second here.
You were going to do something with
I'm going to try to put the sponsors over. If you can even give me a bigger box, feel free to do so.
That's the biggest box we have right now.
That's what.
I can do that here.
That's what
let me do this. I can edit let me just make a new one.
Tell me when you're ready, and then I will start my thing here and see if it works. Just tell me when you're ready, and we'll get this in here real quick.
Let me see if I can just add it to full screen. Add the dynamic camera grid, and I'll blow this up to the biggest size of the screen we can, and save as
jalapeno chips in there. There we go.
Jimmy John's jalapeno chips. Not the kicking chicken tonight, but
well, I don't know what's in there. I think I asked for the spicy Italian, which I'm going to be having right after the show. Tell me when I'm ready to do our sponsor logos. Because I'm in the camera studio right now. I can't see you. Are you there? I don't even hear him.
You're taking up the entire full screen.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Let's see if this works. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing the best we can here with the lighting and everything. We added a little extra lighting. We want to thank Blaze Pizza for being a sponsor of this show, and we're going to be heading over to Blaze later this week to enjoy some of that fantastic Blaze Pizza. They've got the 5 for $35 deal going on, where you get 3 large pizzas, a couple of order of fantastic cheese sticks, which are just as good as the pizza. Go into Blaze, ask for the 5 for $35. Let them know that the Starmaker Bolin show sent you their way, especially the one over on Shelbyville Road. But the district manager there, Mike, has 5 locations he would love you to drop in and visit around the Kentuckiana area. And make sure to go visit our good friends at Blaze Pizza. Bolin Services Incorporated. We're the 501c3 company that raises the money to feed all these Filipino families. Any donations you make are now a full 100% tax-deductible donation. and take advantage of that and help us help our families. Bolin Services Incorporated. Don't know why that came up again, so delete that. That's 2 of them. And I think that's a good looking logo right there. What do you think of that, Bob? Hey, Bob might not be able to hear me, but yeah, that's a good looking logo right there for Blaze Pizza. And we like that. And then thanks to Jimmy John's, a proud sponsor of the show, delivered the food tonight, which I'll be showing again here in just a minute. Another gorgeous Jimmy John's logo who provided and catered our show tonight will also be catering the Anthony Scaramucci John Cena Sr. show coming up on Thursday. I don't hear Bob, so I guess he's just watching. And then our Arby's up in Canada. We got a lot of Canadian viewers up there. So the Arby's Canadian logo, which I think looks pretty good. I like that. Looks good. And so there we go. I think we got, and then the traditional Arby's logo right there. I guess I would have to slide myself way over to the right. Yeah, there we go. Just my head a little bit so you can see the Arby's logo. So we got that. If you want to screenshot any of that for any of the sponsors that are watching the show, we'll go backwards again. There we go. The beautiful Jimmy John's logo. The boss membership, something's kind of blocking their word. Well, y'all know who it is. Blaze Pizza one more time. Bolin Services Incorporated. And Blaze Pizza one more time. If your logo was not shown on the show, it's probably because you're about to be replaced. So there we go. All right.
There you go.
Oh, I guess I could take that down now, right? So give me a second.
Yeah, you could, but why?
There we go. All right, back to the big of screen and go back to the. Oh, it switched my camera while I was gone. There we go. Click that one.
Well, because you moved it, and then I think that.
Yeah. That's right. I did move it, and then blindly tried to put it back in place. Is what I did. So take that down. Back to StreamYard. Okay. Hello, Sir Kenny. I hope you noticed. I hope you noticed me. Well, there you go. You've been noticed. Thank God Officer Clark didn't notice. So what did you think of Officer Clark's stories about 117 West Main Street and brought up the name Sanford Suiter? He's the one that he was the ringleader. He provided the vehicle and everything. Dad helped him rustle the cows, and they'd steal 1 or 2 at a time, and provide meat for the winter. Just trying to feed their families. Just a couple of hardworking, nice guys trying to feed their family.
A couple of hardworking cattle rustlers.
That's all it was.
Boys. Like I said, Dukes of Hazzard, the live version.
Yeah, Ghost, non-donating, non-membership carrying go. You better get a fucking membership, you little prick.
Tried to kill Kenny with that those gummies that you sent him.
Yeah. Oh, they're still sitting in there in my drawer. I died in the bathroom. They brought me back. Thanks to the Louisville EMTs. Took 7 of them to bring me back to life. Tried to kill me. And you can't even make a donation or get a fucking membership, you little bitch. And then you come in here to scowl the name of Jerry the King Lawler.
To gloat over Kenny's demise.
Yeah. That's what you're doing. Why is it you can't afford $3 for a fucking membership, you little bitch? I'm in a mood. Can you tell? I have Officer Clark. He used to be a cop down here at West Mutual Bank where I used to live. You don't think I can't have you arrested tonight? All the crimes you've committed, Chris Schmidt?
On the air, live.
On the air. Good God. Oh, well, where's your mouth now, son? Where's your mouth? Also didn't see Broke-Ass Barkley in here tonight. He could have dropped by. And also didn't see Michael Pesci. They were all invited.
I'm hoping the Broke-Ass Barkley stops by on Thursday and tells Anthony Scaramucci.
Oh, he'll probably tell Scaramucci how politics is done. I hope he does. Yeah. I hope he does. All right. He better have a fucking badge when he does it. All right. Well, I think we've done all the damage we can do. I'll look. I know goddamn well not one other. Schmidt, you better donate, you little bitch.
Thank you, Zach Bonner, for your $11 and change. Thank you, Randy Sadley, for your $25. Thank you, TC, from the NC, for your $10 donation. Every one of you are highly appreciated.
$46 is it, man. That's all we got.
Well, you guys wanted the scoop on Bolin. You're not going to get it for $46.
No, you're not. You're way off. You know what? Before we sign off, let me see what I got here real quick. Thank you, Jimmy John's, for sponsoring the show tonight. We greatly appreciate it. 1 hour and 49 minutes into this thing. And I got the chips here. I can do those a little later. I want to see what sandwich y'all sent me. The dinner box at Jimmy John's, roughly about $15. They have some cheaper options up there for about $11. And, oh, God. It's already cut in half, so there's 2 meals here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Bob, don't get jealous.
That is the Italian, yes.
That is the spicy Italian. Oh, my God. That's a lot of meat. There's a lot of protein there. And this is just half the sandwich, guys. It's just half. But, yeah, let me get it unwrapped here properly. Because they like it when I eat it on the air. And sell how good it is.
Kenny doesn't like when I eat on the air, but that's okay. Story altogether. Because I'm not eating Jimmy John's. I bet if I was eating Jimmy John's, it would be. No, it wouldn't be, because then Kenny wouldn't have any. And he'd be mad that I was eating Jimmy John's when he didn't have any. So
Cow Dog wanted a bite.
You know, I almost I got the new list of whoopie pie flavors that
do you?
There's like 45 of them now.
How many flavors?
They have 45 different flavors now.
God damn, I didn't know that.
And I am so tempted. Now my diet, my blood sugars are a little high. My triglycerides are a lot high. So
I hear you, Bob, but I accidentally turned my monitor off. So let me see if I get you back. Yeah, let me see if I can hear you, but let me see if I get you back.
Trying to be careful with what I eat, simply because some of that blood work came back a little scary. Triglycerides were a touch higher than I would have liked for them to be, like a lot.
Bob, I'm just going to have to hear you because it totally logged me out of my deal.
Well, I'm tired of hearing me. I hear you, yes.
You still hear me?
But I'm tired. Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, I am totally logged out. I'm going to have to log back in, which is a process.
Yeah, let's just do this. We'll be back on Thursday. Yeah. Anthony Scaramucci, 4 p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m.
That is going to be a members-only chat. I can warn you right now. Members-only chat. Or you have to make a donation through the super chats.
Through the super chat.
If you want your questions asked, membership has its privilege. We'll talk about our Patreon plans coming up.
Yeah, I think we got an idea there. And we'll go ahead and give that teaser. The new show is going to be called Overtime. We are going to set a 55-minute time limit on this show. And unless we have a special guest and they agree to go over. Because then we have to log out, log back in. We don't want to put the guests through all that. But we're going to have a special segment called Overtime. I kind of got this idea from Bill Maher. He does his little 1-hour show, and then he comes on and does a 20-minute extra where they speak a little freely about what's going on, answering viewer questions and shit like that. So we're going to try to do something similar to that and make it a Patreon-only show, to where and those shows will probably be a little friskier than the regular show, a little bit more opinionated, a little bit more foul language, if that's possible. And it's going to be called Overtime, and that will be coming in the very near future on Patreon, if I can figure out how to get back into my Patreon account, and if Bob thinks it's simple enough just for us to upload an unedited 20-minute version of Overtime. 15 to 20 minutes, give or take. All right. So like I said, I can't see shit. I'm sitting there looking at a black monitor, but we'll go ahead at 11 o'clock sharp. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. We did right at 2 hours tonight. So
we did.
Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a good time. We'll see you back here
Thursday at 4 o'clock. We may
members only. Members
afterwards. After Anthony, we'll talk about the Knox Pro Wrestling incident. We may preview Clash in Paris, but we probably won't, unless Mr. Sin wants to talk about it.
I'll answer whatever questions you have about it to the best of my ability, as long as I'm not in prison. As long as me and Randy Suter, his son, are not in prison. He's about my age. We graduated Oldham County High together. We were the two fastest guys at Oldham County. Why? Because we were always running from the cops.
Running from the police.
You're running from the devil, trying to